And now we're going to bring on slowly, so there be exits and entrances.
Indeed.
Fan-sided over-god Josh Hill, with whom I read A Song of Ice and Fire, George R. R. Martin's as yet incomplete fantasy magnum opus, chapter by chapter. We're breaking it down. What makes it work? What makes it tick? What makes it good? What makes it bad? Just how does it work, and what insights can we plumb? I feel a little weird on this big couch by myself, but it's thank you. It's a new day, right?
It's a new day.
I mean, it's a new era.
It's a new era.
It's a new office. It's a new studio. What do you think of the setup? What do you think of the new area?
I love it. I'm infinitely impressed by it. So, and a lot of hard work went into putting it all together.
That is definitely true.
Of which I did none. So,
Are you kidding?
If we're thanking anybody, we're thanking Richard and the video team.
I tried to steam these flags once. That's the most I've ever done.
I've seen you try to
terrible job.
Emphasis on try.
Yeah, it didn't work.
it was a tough.
I have to iron them.
It was a tough go.
But yeah, we are back, and
Yes.
Julie says hi. Hi, Josh.
Hi, Julie.
And he now says best work date was
Hi, everybody,
Shooter,
not
so
just
hello,
Julie.
Everybody,
but
yes.
Hello, everybody.
We got Kenny and Kristen and Walt and Zachary Best.
All right.
Lots of folk watching. And Kim and Terry and Sue. Anyway, we are back after a couple of weeks to talk more about Song of Ice and Fire. We are on the second Sansa chapter.
Indeed.
In A Clash of Kings. Josh, it's been a couple of weeks. What were your impressions of the new Sansa chapter?
I had a long time to let it soak in. And no, it's good. It kind of was a return to this kind of taking down of her Disney princess view of the world, because we've got two dueling views of knights where we've got, what's his name? Dantos
Hollard.
And then the Hound, who could not be further apart on the spectrum of knighthood.
Yeah.
Where you've got one who's kind of closer to the classical, kind of like the Snow White, like follow me into the woods. And
yeah, so this chapter opens. I really like how it opens with come to the Godswood tonight if you want to go home.
Yeah.
Which is like a note she gets under the door. She's in King's Landing. She's held prisoner. And there's a weird note. And it gets repeated over and over. I kept thinking of Come With Me If You Want to Live from the Terminator movies.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was going. But yeah, it gets that repeat. I thought it's very effective. And so Sansa steals out of her room and meets Dantos Hollard. Do you remember him? He was the drunken knight who showed up late to Joffrey's tournament. And Joffrey goes, "Gonna just have him killed." Because you know.
As he
does. Yes. And Sansa kind of talked Joffrey into sparing his life and just making him a fool instead.
Yep.
A life
debt is owed.
Yes, a life debt is owed. But here's the question. Do you remember, because he is on the show.
Okay.
Not a lot, but he is in the show. He helps Sansa. Do you remember his real deal? Like who he's really working for?
No.
He's Littlefinger's stooge. He's working for Littlefinger. This is Littlefinger's way to make contact with Sansa to get her out eventually. But we don't know that at this point. She certainly doesn't know that. And interesting you mentioned the whole thing about dueling kind of roles of knights, because the way he gets in good with her is by appealing to this kind of chivalrous knight aesthetic. Yeah. Like he falls to his knees and pledges his life for hers. He cites like he's a fool, but he's like, I'm like Florian the Fool, which is like a popular song at the time. So like that's how you get to Sansa. You make musical references and you make big sweeping oaths. And then she kisses him on the cheek and she's like, says, "My life is yours." It's all very storybook.
Yeah, it's very Disney princess. It's
totally
very fairy tale. And then on the other end of that, you have the Hound, who is the absolute opposite of chivalrous. But in a way, I mean, he's a more realistic knight. I mean, we have the one, which is a very fantastical view. It's very romanticized.
And also fake. Remember, he's lying. He's working for Littlefinger.
There's that too. But like just the images of the two, where the Hound, and that's kind of why he was such an interesting character, an empathetic character on the show, because he's so real. Like for a lack of a better term, he keeps it real. Like he just does. Like where you're juxtaposing that against this fake knight, which is very much appealing to all of Sansa's romantic views of what knighthood should be. Absolutely. And the Hound is basically like, spitting into the spittoon and like adjusting himself. And
He's
then
like drunk and
welcome to the party. Yeah. So, but that's much more real because that is what it's not so much his appearance. It's what's behind that. What has made him that way. And it's because he's an actual knight. He's actually gone through things. It's like, the war veteran and the person who's just in like the reserves or something, the weekend
like
National
that, yeah.
Guard. So I'm thinking of like that 70s show, Bob and Red specifically.
I've never seen it.
Oh, well.
So I don't get that reference.
Oh, well, there we go.
But I'll try.
Yeah, so there you go. Fantastical. But yes, the Hound, very much the realistic view of the knight.
Sure. Yeah, totally.
And
totally.
that's what Sansa needs to know. That's what she needs to learn, which is continuing to tear down this idea that life in King's Landing is not at all what you thought it was. This dream that you've had, it's just not true. It's all a fantasy.
Yes, as the Hound says at the end, I thought it was a good line. A pretty thing and such a bad liar. A dog can smell a lie, you know. Look around you and take a good whiff. They're all liars here, and everyone better than you. So everyone is lying to her. Dantos is lying to her, like straight up. She just doesn't know it. She, again, like she's starting to get wiser, but she's still very much in this I am a princess in a tower mindset. And if I'm gonna get rescued, it's gonna be by a noble knight type. It's not gonna be by the Hound. Even though the Hound will offer to take her home later. Remember, call it from the show? He before he pieces out of King's, he goes to Sansa and he's like, I can take you home. And she refuses him. Yeah. Because she still, doesn't think that's the right choice. But yeah, he is probably her better option. She just, it's hard for her to look past.
She's got to let go of so much that she's held on to about this view. I mean, she's basically changing her outlook on the world. And that's not an easy thing to do.
I also like just her kind of weighing whether she should go to the Godswood or not. Because again, like, she is wiser. Like, she knows she can't leave her room without a good excuse, like a good lie. Yeah. Like, she knows if she tries to go do, she's thinking, like, this could be a trap. Joffrey could have sent this. It could be, like, a whole thing to humiliate me. She does end up going. And I also really like the bit that the reason she's able to get away is because there's, like, some kind of riot at the gate, and the peasants are, upset because they don't have food or water or anything like that. And it said, like, the Hound is like, oh, yeah, there was some peasant riot, and Joffrey led a sortie against the peasants. You know what that means? That means that Joffrey got on his horse with his armor and led a bunch of armored knights out against, like, peasants who want bread and, like, cut them down.
A total Joffrey move. If we're talking fake chivalry, like, that is, like, fake leadership. That's, like, dictator stuff.
That's like a Tiananmen Square move, where it's like a tank against a guy. That's what he's doing, which of course he would.
I mean, yeah, it's Joffrey.
I like that he's making me laugh even when he's off. He doesn't show up at all, but he just says that and like, yeah, that sounds about like what he would do, which is funny. So yeah, Sansa's able to get away, and she does lie some. Like, she says, "Why are you in the gods?" But like, I was praying, which sure. No one likes to talk about religion. They'll let you get away with that. Yeah. So she's learning, but yeah, it's a slow climb for Sansa.
The whole Godswood thing too is kind of like the Nigerian prince that emails you. It's like, give me $500, I'll give you $5,000 back. It's kind of the same thing. But it's also because he's not real, because he's fake. She gets out of it, but it's like he's working with Littlefinger. So she did actually avoid a Westeros version of the Nigerian prince scam. So.
Yeah, I mean, but again, it's also romantic. Like,
a little bit. I mean,
come and meet me in the wood. Like, come on, that's
appealing to her.
To her sensibilities.
So, but she wised up, which is an evolution of her character, slow maturation.
She says in the show,
rapid growth, but
she's a slow learner, but she does learn, so it just takes a while. That's a line from the show. She said that. That's Sansa admitting it. Not a hugely big chapter, kind of all that happened, but I think it's pretty good. Oh, he also swore an oath. Again, that Dantos did, because, again, he knows that oaths will get through to her. I liked the bit where she's talking about all the people she missed. Like, she missed her father. She misses her friend, Jane Poole, who, just remember that name, she'll come back. And she even missed Arya once in a while, like at the end of that. She missed Septon Mordain. like it was a whole paragraph, and a lot more ink was spread for her dead Septa and her friend who we barely knew. Like, Arya's at the end. Like, once in a while I miss her, which is funny.
Little footnote.
She's a little footnote in her life. I also like the bit where she's talking about some of her trials that have gone on in the past couple of weeks. She says that, like, she's been punched by the Kingsguard. Like, Meryn Trant punched her with a mailed fist when she accidentally, in front of Joffrey, I forget which it was. It was like something like King Rob won a battle. And she was like, good, accidentally. And then she got punched for that. And she says it was her own fault. She must learn to hide her feelings better so as not to anger Joffrey. So again, it's the Sansa survival strategy is not going to be confrontational.
No.
It's not the Arya way. It's, okay, I got to just push it all down and wait for an opportunity. Which is her thing.
Yeah.
Which will do that too. Well, that's kind of all there was to the chapter. Have any other thoughts on it, Josh? Anything else stand out to you?
No. Just the idea that Sansa's slowly coming to the realization that life is not as peachy as she maybe thought it was.
Right.
Now that she's having to go through these trials and hardships, which is just going to get harder. Like, it's not going to get any easier for her, which is almost the most tragic part, is she's going through these struggles, and you're like, well, it's going to get worse from here. So,
yeah.
But
there is a really good, like, breaking moment in the books that we'll get to that they actually didn't have on the show, and I was upset about it.
Yeah.
Like, where it really is, like, you know, she's like going like this, climbing the thing, and like she'll just like, there's a sharp uptick moment they did not have. I'm curious when we get to that what you think about it.
Interesting.
And some comments. Sansa was romantic back then, says Julie, before she learned to play the game. And she also says, the pheasants are revolting, which is a funny pun, Julie. Very nice. And Devi reminds us that, and they kiss in the books. I think Sansa and Dantos, or Sansa and the Hound. Sansa and the Hound do kiss, I believe, in the books.
They do?
Yes. I mean,
now I don't have to read it because you just spoiled it for me.
He kisses her. It's uncomfortable.
Oh.
They wisely cut it. But we'll get to that.
Okay, well, I can't wait. Wow, you teased it so well.
Exactly. Okay.
What are we reading next week? What's our chapter?
Arya 5.
Is anybody reading along with us too? Like,
Is anybody reading along with us out there?
You should.
Who's reading along?
Please read with us.
I'm going to arrange all the chapters that we've done, all the videos in like a playlist. So we got like all the Game of Thrones chapters, all the Clash of Kings chapters.
Big fan of that.
In the near future. So look out for that. Hopefully that'll bring some people in.
Yeah.
And thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be back next week with Arya 5 and more Take the Black Life. Let's talk about. Glad to be back. Glad to be in the new set. Thanks for watching and have a lovely evening.